All right, let's go ahead and experiment with the Adobe Illustrator Draw application. Click on that. Let's go to the orange circle, the plus, and start a new canvas, new artwork. I'm gonna go to the gear at the top. This has an option for rotating. We're gonna go ahead and have it horizontally on our screen and have our iPad horizontal. That way our stand can be held up nicely and it's easier to look at while we're working. We're gonna go ahead and start with adding a shape. It's the icon at the top of the triangle and then the circle underneath of it. We'll click that, and you could add different shapes if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and add a circle, and you can move the circle around just by touching your Apple Pencil in the middle of it, and you can change it like that, and then you can draw a line, and I'm going to go ahead and close that out. I am going to pick my very first brush. If you double click on it, it comes up with options. You can make the line size bigger or smaller by going in and out of the circle with your Apple Pencil. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a horizontal line right over that shape, and then I'm going to tap on the same brush at the top. I'm going to click on the eraser, and I'm going to go ahead and erase that part of the circle. I'm going to choose a new brush to use just to experiment, and I'm going to make some water. And if you double click the brush, you can change the opacity of the line, so you can make lighter lines. If you don't like the way you did something, you can just hit that back arrow at the top, which is convenient. So I'm just experimenting with some lines and shapes, and I'm going to add a new layer actually. And you could add an image on top. I'm going to hit the draw, and I'm going to go ahead and make the opacity really light and then make the brush size really big so I can fill up a large area. And I'm going to fill in my water here. It's almost like a watercolor wash when you make the color really light. And fill that in. I'm going to experiment with a new brush here, and I'm going to pick a different color. And make the brush size smaller. So you can see this line starts off with an angled edge. And I'm going to try this one. This one starts off kind of skinny, and the line gets wider the slower and the longer you leave the Apple Pencil on the screen. I'm going to go back to my original, pick a different color. This down here gives you kind of a setting for the brush itself. You can kind of play around with the percentages and see what the lines will look like. It kind of shows you at the top, which is neat. So if you want to change each brush yourself, you can. And that's about it. There is a sharing option here. You can share the image, share a link. You can share your time lapse, which is really fun to watch the progression of your artwork. So there is our practice.